Hmthu 30. Continued. Melissa is still dancing softly to the music when her skin begins to itch. At first she tries to ignore it, but it is getting worse, so she puts the glass of wine down in order for her to scratch. She starts slow, but then it keeps getting worse. What is happening? She asks herself as she continues to scratch. When it finally lessens, she starts to feel as if someone is blowing hot air in the room. "Ma'am, are you okay?" the help asks, walking into the room. "Prepare me a bath," Melissa says, the air getting hotter with each second. She doesn't wait for the help to do that as she rushes to her bedroom and gets into the shower, where she turns on the water faucet and starts to pour the cold water on herself. What is happening? She asks herself. The cold water is not helping at all, and the more she pours it on herself, the more the itching gets worse. All of a sudden the room starts to feel as if it's spinning. She begins to spin with it until she can't feel her legs anymore. Felicitas is tired. Her breathing has stabilized, but she can't feel her lower body because of the medication. The doctor is trying her best not to look at her, and she knows that something is off. Her delivery was supposed to be a vaginal one. She still can't understand why they had to perform an emergency C-section. "What name have you picked for the baby?" one of the nurses that is holding my hand asks. "Sean," I say, a little tear falling. She helps with wiping it. "Sean is a good name. That was supposed to be the name of my first child. He didn't make it." I say. "It's a beautiful name," she says, ignoring everything else I have said. She continues to make light conversation, and honestly I am not even paying attention to half the things she is saying. I know they have told me that I need to be calm because if my blood pressure shoots, something might go wrong, but at this point I am getting super worked up. What if he doesn't make it? I know these are questions one is not supposed to ask when in such a situation. What if he does? I smile at the response, and both our faces glow as the sound of a crying baby echoes through the room. "A healthy baby boy," the doctor says to me. She hands me the baby and I smile widely. Tears fall when I look at him. He is the most beautiful baby I have ever seen, and I am not saying this because he is my child. "Welcome to the world, Sean," I say, kissing his forehead. The nurse takes him from me to have him cleaned up and dressed whilst the doctors finish off with stitching me up. 2 days later. It's the first time that Mum has come to stay with me. Honestly, I never thought a day would come when I would need her, but they are things that labor will teach you that you will never learn out of there. She has been gentle and patient with me, treating me like a little child, and both Sean and I are being well taken care. She has just finished bathing and clothing me when Liam walks into the spare bedroom where we are now sleeping. "How are my babies doing?" he asks. "We are okay, getting there by the hour." He comes to kiss my lips lovingly. "You look worried." He swallows hard. "We can talk about it when you are better." I say, shaking my head. "Fine." He breathes out heavily. "Melissa is dead." "What do you mean Melissa is dead?" "Last I checked she was doing just fine, and yes, we were not in God books, but death is something that I wouldn't have wished upon her. She died the very day you gave birth. The help found her in the shower tray." Silence. "She slipped and hit her head, and by the time she was taken to the hospital she was pronounced dead." I hold my mouth. Oh my God, that is sad. How are her parents? Her father is staying strong for her mother. From what Pius has told me, she has taken the death really hard and somehow blames herself. "You and Pius are talking now?" "Babe. I was just asking. We married into the same family." I laugh. "Please tell that to someone that just met you. I guess you know me too well." I roll my eyes. "I have been talking to Pius." "About what?" "The rape incident." "Babe, please. Hear me out." "Okay. Babe, I don't want you waking up years from now and realizing that you have not healed from that incident because you never really dealt with it." I look at him wordlessly. "If you permit, we could bring Sam to book. He could go in for life." I chuckle. "What? That sounds like a very good deal, but it will never bring back my virginity." But he would have paid for his mistakes. I am glad you are trying to do this for me, Liam, but what Sam took from me is way deeper than just my physical purity. I spent years trying to heal from that pain. Not the physical one, but the emotional trauma he caused me, and honestly I am in a very good place right now. The last thing I would want to do is walk back to that place. Sometimes life will throw a bucket of cold ice in your face and you have to warm yourself up and continue moving. Life is not a Nigerian movie, babe, where we are waiting for a time when he will be struck by lightning. What if his payback is in the fact that he has never met anyone that loves him? What if his payback is in that he is financially crippled right now? That he is not having it as easy as he did back then? What if that's his back? He looks at me. True healing doesn't come from causing the same harm to the villain. True healing lays in picking oneself up and being better than how one could have been with the pain inflicted on them. I can have Sam arrested today, but he might not even change. It is harder to change a grown-up man than it is to raise a better on. I will raise my child better. Quenches girl, Winnie woman, Boeing medium dark skin tone.